Zoom boo boo da bum ba doom. Zoom ba boo ba ba da bow. Yeah, that gonna start jamming soon. Rocking out in that vertical style. Everyone's having a super awesome time listening to me scat doodle-doodle-doodle-doo. No one doesn't like the scat man coming to their neighborhood. Yeah. Everybody loves it when there's a scat guy doing the scat real good. Am I right? Okay, vertical. Jeff, I think we're there. Otto, I think we're there. Okay, we're getting that going. Give me a thumbs up if you see me, if you hear me, if you feel me, if you really know me. That's all I'm hoping for. Okay, now I'm figuring out that vertical is good. Horizontal. Oh boy, checking out all the dials. Maybe need an assistant, but there's just no time in the day. Hey, hey, yeah. Da 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 da. All right, so you got me on the horizontals? I see a Tony in the chat. I see Reggie Poole. I see Brim Vim, Wade Olson. Alrighty, right. It is so glorious and crisp and clear and funky today in Nashville. Oh my gosh, we're just gonna honor it. I was singing in B flat. Ooh, okay. All right. Correctamundo. Happy Saturday, everyone. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that an octave down. Just one simple vampity vamping chord here. B flat. Ear training. Let's just start easy. Does this feel like it's major or minor in its general essence? Ooh, yeah. Whoa. All right, so find your way into this. Settle in. Happy Saturday. It's Guitar Friend Tim. If it's your first time here, welcome. We're going to jam. We're going to talk. We're going to get into this like awesomely clickbaity title that got you here. Whatever it was. You know, us guitar enthusiasts and instructors, we're always out here trying to reinvent the wheel. And it's like, learn it, unlock it, demystify it. But truly, I really do have something today for you that I think ultra helpful. Might be slightly less than the most sexy sounding topic ever, but you know, we've had our fun with caged and triads and all those things. Let's get into the thing that's gonna shine a new light. And I did tease, I think, in the YouTube, in the post that I put up, you kind of learned this on day one. You learned this right at the same time that you got your very first cowboy chord, C, G, C, A, G, E, and D open chords. You know, those caged ones that sent us off on a path. So yes, we're feeling out this minor. Let's get nice and loosey-goosey. So little root name recall. Can anybody tell me what fret would the root be on the 6th string? It's the same fret for the 1st string and the 6th string. We need a B flat. That's the root. What fret is that going to be? You tell me and I'll throw it down. I'm looking at my vertical, it's just my phone. I'm looking at my horizontal, it's my computer. I'm looking at you, YouTube. So what fret? All right, let's throw it down on 6. So up here, gotta get on one of those. Boom, I like it. Ooh, there's some kind of crazy filter I have on there. Do I? Oh boy, I gotta look at that. It's kind of cool, but I drew a regular dot and then it's doing a dot with a, I don't know, maybe we like it. Maybe I'll go with it. Let's just see how this flows. All right, so this is the classic, the minor pentatonic. But what if, just what if, I want to add a little something else to that? Can anyone tell me, like, you know, what scale degree could I add to this minor pentatonic to bring in a little more sauce, a little more something else? One of those in-between notes. In fact, I'll start drawing them and you tell me there's 2 scale degrees that we don't have in the pentatonic, because a full scale is 7 notes, pentatonic is 5 notes. we're missing a couple of teeth. What do we do that? Right? We added that note, we added that note. And that's the same one, just 3 different spots. Oh, these dots are funky. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of a filter on here. I'll try to get to the bottom of that. I think it would be on the iPad layer. And I think it would be probably this. Boink. All right. That'll clear that up. You know, we're always tweaking, refining. So let's try that. Let's just sort of play that. And if you're kind of confused, just play with me together. We're going to start from the top of the scale. So we're going to be doing... I love I have the octavizer on. How about... And we're just going to do 1 octave at a time. I'll explain why that's important in a little bit. See, there's funky ways to warm up your brain and your digits. So these are our roots. I love finding the roots as the anchor. Everything unfolds from that. Without the roots, you're kind of just swimming in like, well, how about this dot? How about that dot? How about this dot? But now let's go from the top. We're going to start right here. 1, 2, 3, real easy. So yeah, we've added the 2 so far, or you could call it the 9. Sometimes you hear minor 9. Again, let's play it with me. We're just doing 1 octave, right? So you could think of this as just minor pentatonic, and we're adding in the 9 or the 2. So going up, follow me, join me. So in terms of a scale, it's really just minor pentatonic. We know that really well. We've just added 1 new flavor to it. Okay, now let's play for a little bit and let's just improvise. Really try to bring out the most of that 2, of that 9. I'm looking over at the vertical. Oh, hey, Brooke and Elsa. Oh, well, thank you so much for checking out the vids. A little shout out for you. Cookbook, crazy Brooke, nice. I'm so glad you're enjoying playing guitar. I'm kind of like, I'm doing a horizontal and a vertical stream because YouTube is like, hey, the vertical streams are what people are watching now, so I'm trying to be everywhere. But I hope you enjoy. I hope you have your guitar and just jam along. So we're looking at minor pentatonic. Great. We're trying to slim it down to just 1 octave at a time so we actually get some feeling for what each note sounds like, rather than just running the whole thing up and down and getting bored. And we're adding 1 new flavor to it. So we've added to this regular minor pentatonic. We've added this. So how about just for a little bit, try bending just up a half step. Has a really nice kind of sound to it. And imagine if you had like some reverb on it, if you're like, nice, right? All right, what's 1 other note we can add? Let me check the chat. See, there was some mention there, 6 and 4. Let's see, so yeah, we got the 2. All that spacey reverb, dial it back a bit. I'll add another note and you tell me what you think it is here. Let's see. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so we're gonna add this note. So this, suddenly, by adding that blue note, makes it the full minor scale. So if you're just joining us, and you saw all these dots up on the screen, I mean, I wouldn't blame you for feeling like that's a lot of notes. It's a little bit overwhelming. And that's the problem, is that often, I'm gonna stop the beat just for a second so we just kind of chill and rest our ears. A lot of times we get introduced to a major scale or a minor scale as the full enchilada, like it is right here. Like, and this has even multicolored dots, so it's like kind of overwhelming, right? And that can make it seem a little bit like, okay, I guess it would be like someone handing you a map of an entire city, like of New York, and all these dots on it of places that are, you know, attractions and restaurants. And you're like, okay, that sounds nice. I guess it's exciting, but I have no idea where to begin. And I'm not sure if I'm like going to the right area of it or making the most of it. Like, let's say if you had a day and a half in that city, you'd kind of want to know where to start, like for that first quick visit, right? So what we've done now today is that we've built up from something that you already know, you know, a minor pentatonic, and we can move that around. We find the roots, and then adding a little bit back into it. So we've kind of gone full circle where maybe you first get introduced to the major or the minor scale as like boom, 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 dots everywhere. You're like, oh, okay, thanks. And then you slim it down. And you're like, you know what? I can understand like the minor pentatonic that you learn some licks and you feel it. And then oftentimes we don't go back and add anything to it. We get a little bit after a while of that feeling of like, do I only know the minor pentatonic or the major pentatonic? And does that make me feel a little bit less like flexible when it comes to soloing? And this is where, as we layer back in these notes, kind of 1 degree at a time. So what we just did, we added the 9 first. And you really treat that like a flavor that you can hear in your head. And then this blue note that we added, by doing that, we've added back in the 2 notes that weren't in the minor pentatonic. So we've got ourselves a really nice minor scale now. Cool. So this is the 6 that we just added. That's the minor 6 that's built into that minor scale. Let's just mess around with that a bit. And I encourage you to try to emphasize those notes that we added. Just play for a bit, like back and forth, because you notice that each of those notes that we added, they have a note that's right next to it, right? This sort of half step. And that's a fun tension to sort of like get to know the sound of. And if you play it as a double stop, like. So even those kind of sounds will bring out a whole new vibe, as it were. And this is kind of a funky bluesy thing. You could, if your ear grabbed onto like, oh, that sounds kind of minor, you could just be like, all right, I'm gonna try some of these new. But please, I beg of you, guitar friend, don't dive into it just being like, okay, those are all the dots, let me check my fingers, and here we go. I'm gonna take a solo. I mean, it kind of sounds cool, but it just sounds like someone is shouting the alphabet all in a row. You can do more by doing less. All right, guitar friends, how we doing? How we feeling? What's going on in your world? Do you have any questions? Because I got some things I want to show you. We're going to dive into some ear training right now in a little bit, but let me catch up with the chat and see if there's anything that is a burning question, a desire. I'm going to check in on my friends over here in Vertical World. That's when I look over here, I'm looking at my phone, so I'm actually looking directly at you phone having people, and I love you. I love to see the people over here. Yes, it's a guitar live. I'm trying to do more of these, and I got the live dots. If anyone's wondering, I've got this MIDI guitar. It's a jam stick. I love it. It's been really fun for the obvious reasons. I can actually use it to control keyboards and stuff like that. I don't use it very much like that. So if I turn down the volume on the actual pickups of the guitar and then just like, I mean, it's not really well set up with a good sound right now, but I could do some pretty funky things. Anyway, I haven't messed around with that much, but the fact that I can do the live dots is fun. And then I've got an iPad and I'm just scribbling and I can do things on the fly. So we're going to get into it a little bit today. I hope you got some time to join me. We are going to be talking about how to unlock the fretboard. And I got like a whole little list of things that I want to make my case for you that there is something. Caged is great. So whenever I say that like Cage sucks, I'm just sort of joking. I do have a character on the channel you may have seen, CageBot, and the members of my membership in my community, the first 100 of them have this special badge. They're the golden CageBots, and that's kind of fun. We need to build some merch for that. But yeah, I do lessons and I do live workouts. So what we're doing today is kind of a extended version of what we do every weeknight. We do really quick ones. We'll do like 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm just like the coach. We'll start with a warm up. We'll go through a workout, and then I give you a little bit of time to jam, and then you go on with your life. And everybody that enjoys it is saying that it gives them momentum and they're playing more guitar and they don't have to think about what to practice. So that's what I offer in the membership. You can check out the link in the description. You get a 14-day free trial. But today we're going to kind of stretch it out and talk a little bit. We'll rock a little bit. And with that in mind, CageBot's going to be bopping in. CageBot definitely has an opinion about Caged. And if you're making a lot of progress with Caged, I'm happy for you. That's great. Let's do a little bit of ear training now. I know it doesn't sound very much fun, but we'll try to make it a little bit more fun. For starters, can anyone tell me, can you name that percussion beat? You're like, what? This is a pack of samples I got that has percussion beats that are recreated from like famous pop songs. So here's one. Can you name it? I know we got some people that know this song. When you hear this percussion beat, do you feel like grabbing your boombox and standing in the front yard of your beloved crush, holding it over your head? If you know, you know. If you don't, that's fine. Has anyone got it before I reveal what it is? Pirates of the Caribbean. I love it. I love it. It's not that. Say Anything. That's the movie. John Cusack. Love. I get so lost sometimes. Careful. I'm going to get demonetized because I'm singing it so perfectly in your eyes. Oh my gosh. My lovely lady made me some juice. I just drank it. I think it was celery juice, but there was a lot of pulp in there, a lot of fiber. Okay, let's get going with this root name recall. If you don't know what it is, grab your guitar. I hope you have your guitar. If not, go grab your guitar. You got time. Go grab it. It's going to be worth it. So we'll have this simple little beat going. As guitar players, we need to know the notes on the 5th and the 6th string especially well. And you know that when you find a note on the 6th string, you get the 1st string as well, right? So here's an example. I need G on the 6th string. 3rd fret. It's also going to be the same spot on the 1st fret. It's 2 octaves higher, but you know you can find that letter name lickety split. So let's do it. Okay. Root name recall. Here we go. Shake it loose. Breathe in. Play me B flat on the 6th string. That's where we just were. And I want you to say the fret number when you play it. It'll get it all into your bloodstream. So that's 6th fret. Okay. Play me B flat on the 5th string. 1st fret. Play me E on the 5th string. 7th fret. E flat on the 6th string. 11th fret. Play me D on the 1st string. 10th fret. Play me D flat on the 5th string. 4th fret. Play me C sharp on the 5th string. Sort of a trick question. It's also the 4th fret. C sharp, D flat, same note, different name. Don't be thrown off. F sharp on the 6th string. 2nd fret. Okay, now when I say the letter name or whatever, I'm going to ask for major or minor. So you're going to have to spell out the chords. So let's say if it was A minor, 6th string, you're going to go to the 6th string root and play an A minor chord, right? Simple. But be ready, because if I say 1st string and I need an A minor, you got to go there and play the triad at the very least. You can spell out the whole chord, but what if you focus on your triads there that are based off the 1st string root? Okay. G, 1st string, major. C, minor, 5th string. Right? B, 7, a B7 chord on the 6th string. I already threw in a 7 chord because I feel like you're ready. You can do this. Okay, E on the 6th string, major. That was quick because come on, you got this. A flat, minor. Pick whichever string you want. Whoa, choice. F, major 7, 5th string, 5th string. Up there on the 8th fret. Okay, B flat, major, 5th string. Down here on the 1st fret. One more, let's go. F minor, 1st string. Nice, good work, gang. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, in the chat, tell me, how would you rank, scale of 1 to 10, and be honest, you won't hurt my feelings. How would you rank how excited you get about the major scale? The major scale. Just the plain major scale. Not the fancy pants, major blues, nothing pentatonic, just, and I will grab my coffee and I'll sip it. Hopefully at some point our friend of the channel from Alaska, Tim Taylor, will check this out and be like, oh, he's using the mug. I'm using the mug. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, I need to hook up my merch store to this section right here, because I know you can connect your YouTube to your merch store. We have these hats. We have our guitar workouts of the day. Oh, Tony Martino is ranking an 8. Oh, Brim Vim is ranking a 47. All right, let's play a major scale and let's warm up together. We'll continue our warm up. In fact, this is what we normally do in our workout. Just to show you, we'll do like a. That was supposed to go, and it didn't. I feel so. Oh, there we go. So let's do an official workout. And this is how short it is. It's like 12 or 15 minutes. Come on, let's get this beat going. And we're going to be playing different major scales, all right? So I'll just scribble in the root here. Let's take G, right? These are your roots for a G, okay? Can we play a G major scale? Try to go with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting from that root, right? You notice I didn't start underneath it. Got a doggy on the move, my dog Lolly. It's moving in front of the light back there. Keep on going back down now. Awesome, so that's one position right there. Can we continue? How about instead of going up one by one, let's go up to this G right here. So let's pick another root right here. And we're gonna imagine, okay, here's another G right there. And then here's another G right there. So you'll see, we just sort of base it off of this. We'll spell in the rest of the notes if you're a little confused, but if you're familiar with where this is, we're gonna be doing that major scale right there. That, yes, does look like a C chord, but we're playing a G. Okay, ready? So starting from right here, 2, 3, 4, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, back down. G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Nice. Can we go from here up? So we're gonna go up that way, right? And then we'll fill it in. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D. And then back down, just in that one position there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what if I want to write a chord progression? I'll do a 1, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3. And you can just sort of jam over this. I'll play rhythm for you, okay? So play some G major stuff. If you got the full major scale, that's great. Okay, now I feel like doing like a different chord progression. I'll go up to the 6, okay? So I'll go up 6, 3, 4, 1. E minor, B, C, up to D, the 5. G, I'll walk down, F sharp, E minor, D, C, B, A, and then I'll go back up to the D, the 5. G, D over F sharp, E minor, D, C, B, A minor, G. So check it out. I was just messing around, and I'm not saying, by no means am I ever saying like, look at me, I'm so great. I'm a very approachable guitar player in the sense that I like what I like, and I know what I know, and the stuff that I don't know, I can't teach. So I want you to enjoy the idea that what I was doing was all coming from my knowledge and my awareness of the major scale. That's all it was. And because I've put in the time to just sort of like, you know, mess around with like knowing what the notes are, knowing them by name, knowing them as the numbered version of it. I'm just double checking to make sure, I might not have the stream, the horizontal stream public for some reason. I might be just in unlisted kind of VIP mode. Oh, I am. Yeah, okay. Let's open it up. Can I do that on the fly? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't mess things up. But I just switched the horizontal stream to public, so we might get some more people in there. Because what you'll see in the chat once it's in public mode is that there's the occasional, the link from the bot will drop in saying, hey, check out my courses. You should check out my courses. I also have freebies, really good high quality freebies, where it's a 5-day course. There's a 5-day skills challenge. So you see those links, hit those links, check it out. This is the way I teach, and usually it's more like snappier, but we're chilling on a Saturday. But what I want you to know is that the major scale, often misunderstood, often overlooked, holds so many secrets. And one of the things that it'll give you right away is the knowledge of what chords go where. So a lot of times people are like, all right, what's this Nashville number system? Again, sometimes it's like overly sort of buzz talk and stuff like that. But right away, when I have G, this is the one we're looking at first. We got G, A, B, C, D, E. Come on, pen. E. Big, chunky letters. And then back to G, just so we see the full circle there, right? If I number them, just simply draw a number for each one. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to the 1. So once we hit the G again, it returns to 1. You could say it's 8, but it's really just, here's the deal. And I want you to take this seriously. Really seriously, guys and gals. All right. Look at me drawing all these here dots. Be honest, does your anxiety go up or down when I start writing all these dots? Because I think if you're human, you might be like, holy guacamole, like what do I do with all these things, right? Oy, oy, oy. And I'm sort of like, I might miss a few here, but I'm doing my best to scribble in all these freaking notes of the G major scale, as many as I can sort of fit here and kind of going off the side and yada, yada, yada. And there's another one there. I'm sure I missed one here and there. It's okay. That to me is overwhelming. That to me is like, and the tragedy is that people see that oftentimes as their first exposure to the major scale. And sure, maybe they're giving them one position at a time. Like maybe that's one position, but that's a lot to digest. And I'm here to say, this could be a good clickbait title. If you think that's a scale, if you think that over there, all those dots over there, if that's what a scale is, you're wrong. That's not what a scale is. What that is technically is a pattern. It's a positioning on the guitar. It's the fretboard diagram. It's the fingering for, yes, the notes of a G major scale. If you were to put as many of them as you can into one area of the neck. So it's really just like a zip code of like, okay, if your hand is here, how many notes in the G major scale can you touch? That's all that is. So we pack in as many as we can. It ends up being like 3 per string in most cases. And that's just the result that you get. But the scale, like why the scale is important, it's only 7 notes. It's right here. Like that's way more memorable and way more useful, because the thing that I was just messing around with as we were kind of jamming together is like I was calling out chords, off the top of my head based off of this set of 7 notes versus, like 22 notes that show up in one position. So let's talk a little bit. Help me remember in the chat. If you already know these things, let's sort of test our knowledge and see what we got in terms of awareness of chord tones. Which 3 chords in a major scale are major? So in this case, we've got G. The 1 chord's going to be major. I'll give you that one. There's 2 other chords that are major. Which ones are they going to be? I'll do a capital M for that. Oh, we got some people over here in the chat on the vertical. Yeah, it's a little bit deep water there. We got some wild people. We got anyone dropping into the chat, obviously. I'm not your babysitter, so I hope that you're nice and cordial. Be friendly. Be awesome. Otherwise, be on your way. But, you're going to do what you're going to do. 1, 4, and 5. Thank you, Michael. All right. Michael, one of the members of the GFT community. So we've got the 1, the 4, and the 5. Those are major. This is what I'm showing you now are the types of things that you just get by knowing the major scale cold, not kind of knowing about it and being able to play it in one spot. That's where we normally start. So let's break out of the habit of thinking the major scale is, I can play it right here, and if you give me a second, I can probably play it without making any mistakes. That's not going to help us for what we really want to use it, which is to make up progressions and jam along with friends and the whole thing. So here's the minor ones: 2, 3, and 6. And then this one is diminished, and then we're back to a major one. So remember, this one is a repeat. It's really just these 7. And the diminished chord doesn't come up as often in typical like modern pop music, things like that. So if we were to just kind of look at those first 6 numbers right there, we can spell so much cool stuff out of this. So I'll give an example, and then I want you guys to give me an example of a number sequence to just sort of randomly come up with chord progressions using our knowledge of the major scale. So if I went like, okay, I'll do a 1, 4, 2, 5 in G major. I could be looking at this chart until I got it memorized, and that's great. So I would look at it, I'd be like, okay, 1, 4, 2, 5. So G major, C major, A minor, D major. And I could repeat it right there. That's cool. So I'll play that and you jam along with me. Play some G major stuff. 3, 4. And as I'm doing this, whether I'm looking at the chart or I have it memorized, I could be like, okay, that's cool, but I have an idea in my head. I'm wondering if I could do something different. Oh, let's go to the 6. Let's go to the 3, and then we'll go to the 2, and go to the 5. So the vocabulary that you get from just understanding that, like, it's that classic question, well, which chords go together? This by no means are the only chords that go together, but this is like learning cat, dog, blue, like your elements of language where it's like, oh, okay, I can count on these chords within a major scale having a certain kind of logic that holds them together. So somebody give me a sequence of numbers, like maybe 3 or 4 numbers long, out of 1 through 6. We'll skip 7 right now, and we'll play that chord progression. You'll see how this can be. We got a friend from Brazil. I know how to say thank you in Portuguese. Obrigado. Thank you for being here. All right. Me llamo Tim, puedo hablar un poquito de español, but todavía no sé muchas palabras, pero puedo tocar la guitarra y muchas gracias for being here. 6, 2, okay, we got a couple ones coming in from Brim Vim, another one of our wonderful members. So let's just see what it's like. You could be doing this too if you have this in front of you. And you might already do some of this, but I'd love it if you're able to do it in any key. So let's say 1, 6, 4, 3. So I'd look at that and be like, okay, 1, so we got G, 6 is an E minor, 1, 6, 4, 3. And you just take your time with it. Okay, G, E minor, then a 4 is a C, and then the B is minor. That's cool. Isn't that kind of nice where like right away, my ear feels like, oh, that could be a song. I could play it with these open chords. And then maybe take it somewhere else and just sort of enjoy that. Okay, we got a 6, 2, 4. That's great. So 6, 2, 4 would be E minor, A minor, because I know that the chart is telling me that's a major, that's a minor. Okay, so minor chord, and then 4. That's cool. So wait, let's try that. Let's just sort of like let's make a little jam track out of this. And you could be doing this with all your loopers and oh yeah, that's that other one. Try to erase that maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's jam over that, right? Oh, I forgot to record it. Okay, so you can start jamming now on this. So very quickly, using your knowledge of the major scale, you've written a chord progression that you like, and then honestly, you can practice your major scales over a chord progression you wrote using your knowledge of major scales. So let's practice. The octave was still on there, I always do that. Can anyone tell me relative major and minor? What's the relative minor of G? Has anyone got it? I'm checking the chats here. E minor, right. So here's another thing. We'll move on to the next point here. What you get out of knowing the major scale is the relative minor. These things that we hear about all the time, like modes, by knowing the major scale, you have just learned all the modes. So if you put in the work to learn the major, all those notes right there, right here, if I were to light up the E, the E root notes in here. Let's see if I can do this on the fly. There's an E. There's an E on the second fret right there. I might be missing one there, but you notice that this chord progression that we wrote using the chords of G major, it also gives us the chords of E minor. So you get the 2 for 1. And here's the thing, a lot of times when we struggle with trying to remember, okay, what's the relative major or minor? All you have to do to find that relative minor is start to get familiar with like, oh, what's the 6th chord in my G major? Like, so, or in any major scale. So if you get like really familiar with like, okay, I can find C major, I can find F major, I can practice my major scales, you'll be one step away from just jumping over to find what the relative minor is. So you almost kind of like get, like I said, the 2 for 1. It sort of, it limits the amount of bandwidth it takes to pull this stuff up on the fly. Because if someone, literally, if you're in a jam session or if you pull up a jam track and someone says, yeah, okay, so it's like an E minor chord progression. And at first you might be thinking, well, I don't really know E minor that well, but they're saying like, oh yeah, it's just sort of like a, E minor chord progression. You could be thinking, well, I know the relative major is G. So all I have to do is take my G major scale and emphasize those roots of E. Okay, so you notice I have the exact same dots up there that are G major before. That's our G right there. But if we suddenly start emphasizing that E minor, we get this dope, different feeling, right? Watch. All I'm doing is kind of aiming for those E. Fun times. Am I right? Am I right? Does that make you excited? Show me an emoji that reflects how that makes you feel. If you're here and you're just sort of passing through, that's fine. Try to be nice. But if you want to learn some things, we got you. We got you covered. We're having a good time here. My name's Tim. I got a lot of my guitar friends here. Many of my amazing members show up on these Saturday sessions, which I really appreciate. And I think it's kind of proof that even after a week of doing these daily workouts, they're apparently not that tired of me, and they're willing to show up and do a round of just sort of hanging out. So big shout out to my guitar friends. Thanks for being here. And if you're new, feel free to ask any questions. We're just kind of getting deeper into what we've been working on this week. So each week we have a little theme. This week the theme was obviously major scale, and trying to sort of chip away at some of the confusion as far as like, how do we actually use it? Let me look at my little list here. And thank you for being here on the vertical side of things. I'm using the phone to see you guys there, and then I'm checking my notes. Another thing that people ask about a lot is like how to play chord tones. In fact, I'm going to like scribble some of my notes here. So I'll let you know what we're going to be getting into as we dive into this. Oh my gosh. Does it feel like spring where you are? In Nashville, where I live, it is gorgeous today. And me and my girlfriend and my 2 doggies and her doggie, we all went for a nice walk this morning. Her dog is named Potato. She's a big, lovable pit mix. And Potato is a complete galoot. Yesterday, I was holding some bread that I was about to put in the toaster, and I got it just low enough so Potato just yoinked it out of my hands, just like the perfect crime. I didn't even feel anything, like the bread was gone, and I was like, I literally thought my girlfriend had taken it out of my hands for some like random reason, and Potato was a mile away, already just leaving the scene of the crime. Ooh, okay. So chord tones. We're going to talk about how to play the changes, right? Yeah, talk about the modes. Like if you want to know like Aeolian, Dorian, Mixolydian, all those things, having the major scale is the thing that unlocks that. Yeah, and like we talked about before, the pentatonic that we learn early on is great, but once we put back in the only 2 notes we take out, we get this full way of expressing ourselves. So let's say if I minimize these dots right here, and instead of G, let's pick a new key. Somebody give me a new key, and we'll spell that out. Anyone, what you got? What's a key that you like? How we doing out there, Brim Vim, Michael? How are we? Let me put on this stream over here on the Voidical. And also let me know like what kind of guitar are you playing right now? Are you getting back into playing guitar? Have you been practicing a while? Because I'd love to be able to create things that help people wherever they're at. I feel like there's a lot of guitar players that have starts and stops. We go hot and cold on it, and then we drift away from it, and then we come back. Let's look for another drum beat here. Let's find another loop here. We'll speed up the tempo a bit. We're at 87. I'm using Ableton, by the way, if you're wondering what my tools are. I'm gonna turn the tempo up to 111. Let's try F. Oh, we got Galen Maynard in the house. Me and Galen Maynard are going to be seeing Khruangbin and Hermanos Gutierrez next week. That's what's up for us. Jealous much? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so cool. Let's try this little kind of brushy beat. Nice and mellow. Easy to sort of jam over. Love it. Okay, let's try... I saw F first, so all these are good ideas. Let's try throwing down some F major. Okay. Okay. Oh no, I lost the switcheroo. I'm here, don't worry. So F. All right, how many sharps or flats does F have? Can you tell me? F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E. And then we're back to the F, right? I'm gonna stop that beat a little bit. Side note, if you're ever wondering if there's some part of your brain that actually, I know this is the most outrageous opinion I'll have all day. If there's some part of your brain that is missing school a little bit, like missing a little bit of how it's kind of satisfying, very satisfying to like finish math problems and to like almost kind of fun to study for a test and get flashcards. Learning what I just wrote up here, like the letters of a major scale, learning what the scale looks like when you write it out like that, and having all of them, meaning knowing what the key signature is, like that's the how many flats or sharps, is worth it. That's the type of thing that is very flashcardable, like study it, like when you got a moment to just like try to memorize it, because if you can memorize quickly and have it on hand, like boom, like I know off the top of my head that F has one flat, it's a B flat. And I know right away that, you know, the 1, the 4, and the 5, very common chords in F are going to be like F, B flat, C. And I know that I can make that C a C7. I'll get into that too. If you're wondering like how are 7 chords built, that's what I'm going to show you right now. So check this out. Here's another thing you get by knowing the major scale. I wish the major scale could pay me royalties. I don't know if Mozart is going to pay me for that, but check it out. What those letters, F, A, and C, what did I just circle by circling those 3 notes in particular? What did I just spell by circling those notes? You know what I mean? Who's got it? Anyone got it out there? Yeah, I see the comment here from Andy. It's not too beginnerish. I'm trying to sort of sneak in some things that will stretch the big intermediate guitarist into that next phase. And some of this will be satisfying for a more advanced guitarist to be like, hopefully looking at this saying like, yeah, actually he's right. Actually, I do use that more than I use, you know, the 29 other things that I thought I was going to have to learn. This one concept, if you know it really well, the major scale, will be the fuel for like writing chord progressions, blah, 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 blah. So what I just spelled there was an F major chord. Ignore the 7 over the C. I was like, that's for the chord aspect of it. So what that is 1, 3, and 5, right? Like, how did I know it's 1, 3, and 5? If you're wondering that, it's like, because literally we're just numbering it. That's the first note, that's the 3rd note, and that's the 5th note. And so when you hear people say, oh, it's the root, the 3rd, and the 5th, the root is the same as saying it's the 1. It's the first degree. It's the root of the chord in this case, and the root will move depending on if you want it to be a G chord, that's the new root, right? So if I were to continue taking these 7 notes of the major scale and just doing what I just did, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just grab every other note. Okay, let's grab every other note. What does that get me? Oh, G, B flat, and D. What does that spell? We know that it by doing what we did before, it spells a chord. What chord does G, B flat, and D equal? Big intermediate, yeah. It feels like that's where, I mean, we're all like, in a way, coming back to these things. Sipping our coffee, sipping our water. All right, I'll keep things moving. I'll start answering my own questions. But if you feel like jumping in the chat, I know we got a bit of the lag. Thank you, Michael. That's a G minor, right? So continue with that game of skipping letters, and you will be spelling out the triads. So check it out. Like an F. And I'll spell it using the F-A-C. That's what we just did. So see the dancing dots on the screen. That's coming out of that F right there, the F-A-C. Okay, so G, B flat, D. That's a minor. It would continue the same for A. If I skip those every other letter, it would be A, C, and E. You get where this is going, right? This is like super useful because you're seeing the pattern unfold, and then you can confidently know, like, all right, major scale. If I were to suddenly say, okay, we're no longer in F, we're now back in G major, you could lay out your letters, you could look at it, it would just take you a second, and then you could be, okay, I can just like follow this recipe, and you would use it for a while like training wheels, and then after a while you just know, like, oh yeah, G, A is going to be minor, B is going to be minor, yata, yata, yata. This is how we actually learn things. Sometimes we forgot how we learn things back in school, because in school they just sort of drill a lot of stuff into you. You get so much repetition in that it becomes automatic. We need that with a few things on guitar so we can actually be freed up to have more fun. So the way that we get seven chords, so when you hear major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, the basic way that we get there is, guess what? By literally circling one more note, just following that pattern. If we went F, A, C, that's where we were before, right? That gives us the 1, 3, 5. That's the triad. That's the F-A-C. That's what we know. That's that. Let's go one more. By one more, I mean let's go to the C. F-A-C-E. Face. Or right there in a sequence. That's a beautiful chord. Try that if you don't know it. That is an awesome chord. In fact, let's mess around a little bit in F major, and let's have our first chord be that one. While I build this little beat, tell me what should the other 2 chords be. It'll be a 3-chord progression. The first chord's going to be F major 7. And now just look at what our choice is there. I'll sort of clear up some of those dots. I'll draw in these numbers. And this would be super fun. This would be a fun way, like, if you're just like, all right, I'm tired of jamming to those jam tracks that go on for 9 minutes. I want to build one of my own. You could lay out your major scale. You could build a major 7. You could do a regular triad, and so on and so forth. You get the picture. So that's a F major 7. Go into that D minor. We need one more chord. Or we would just do a 2-chord vamp. Let's do that. Let's do, you can decide on the fly what you want to do, right? A slightly warmer tone on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Mess around on bass lines using your major scale, right? Check it out, check it out. Tell me, what fret would I find an F on the 2nd string? Second string, where do I find the F? So now we're just kind of jamming. You can jam along with this. You could play the chords. The chords are just F major 7. Isn't that the craziest symbol? The triangle. F major 7. And I'm doing a D minor 7. D minor 7 comes from the F major scale or the D minor scale because we know that the 1 and the 6 are relative major and minor, right? Wouldn't it be so cool if you had these like automatic? Because if you have to go fishing for it, maybe you don't get a chance to catch up with the song and it moves on, right? Right, so we're up here on 8th fret, 2nd string. I think we need 6th fret. 6th fret, we're saying 8th up there. People really want it to be 8th, 2nd string. Close, that's in the scale, but that would have been a G. So let's sort of spell it out from... We got to work on that 2nd string, don't we? Because we got this E right here. That's that sort of, right there, that's that pride and joy. It kind of sounds nice, it's a major 7. So there's our F. I'm coming for you, Caged. All right, here we go. Let's look at this real quick. I'm gonna kill the vibe, I'm sorry. All right. I don't have a full assault on Cage, but I will say that, do you feel like, honest question, does Caged feel like it taught you, was trying to teach you more about chord shapes in 5 different positions or scale shapes in 5 different positions? And I know the full answer is it's both, but when you were first introduced to Cage, was it described to you as like 5 different positions on the neck to find a chord shape? Or was it a scale shape? Do let me know if you can. I'll take a moment here. I need some like sort of bossa nova music. Okay. So this is my quick little rant about, I think here's the deal. It's like, I'm old enough so that for whatever reason, when I was learning guitar, Caged wasn't anything I ever heard about. And the only reason that I feel like kind of ruffling feathers about it right now is that I think it gives you something and then it takes something away. It gives you something and then it's almost, imagine if someone gave you a book that was really going to help you and you're like, wow, this is such a great book. I'm so grateful. Thank you. But before you could finish thanking them, they stacked on another book and you're like, oh, okay. This is volume 2. And then they stacked on another one and then another one and another one. And then you've got 5 of these textbooks and they're like, now go out there and make me proud. And you're like, okay, oh boy. And so you maybe read one of them and you skim the others and you look at the covers of the last 2 or 3 and you're like, I think I got it, but you don't got it. And in fact, you may have stirred up more muck by having it sort of halfway sort of in there. And you may have lost a little bit of the spark of the excitement for the original thing. The original thing is that you want to be able to play the whole fretboard, correct? Yes. I'm going to trust that that's true. And you want to be able to move up and down the neck and not feel like you're just stuck down in cowboy chords or just the 2 bar chords. And then everything else is sort of a guessing game in between. So it means well, Caged, when it tells you, okay, you know an E chord, right? Or let's take the actual sequence. You know a C chord, right? There's that open C. Cool. Well, what if I told you you could play that same chord in 5 different spots? Cool. Yes, you're going to play that shape, that C chord shape. You're going to play the heck out of this shape, this A-looking shape, right? You're never going to play that full chord. You are, of course, going to play pieces of it. You're going to play that, you're going to play that, you're going to play that even, maybe. And you're going to learn the major pentatonic right there. But you are not going to be impressing anyone, scoring any points by trying to stretch your hand to play that. And in fact, it'll usually sound out of tune and you'll be missing some notes because it's a crazy shape that no one was ever taught. So I was never taught that. I was actually spending time learning the major scale shapes in each of these 5 positions. So that's the spoiler alert. But basically, you have a chord that you'll use, one that you will never use. This one you use a ton, the one that looks like E. This one, no one on the planet Earth has ever played on purpose unless it was in a YouTube video. I am telling you here and now, hear me. This one, the one that's supposed to be, look at my hand. My hand looks like a meme. Are you kidding? No. Whereas this, I'll play that triad all day long. That's great, but I will never hold, now I'm playing it in F, I'm never gonna hold that to try to reach back and hold down that root. I don't know, maybe Brandon to Eon can play out, I can't play that, okay? At least not at song speed. I will play that like crazy. So yes, caged, 5 chord positions, sure. But hopefully if you're in the hands of a good teacher, there's a lot of people teaching it well, what they will immediately say, if you can see that chord shape, then you can see the tones around it. Like, so for back to where we are with this F, that is a shape that I'll play, and that takes some work to sort of grab that, because there's value in having that entire shape. That takes getting your pinky up there. So that's worth the effort. But a lot of what I love about using that shape is that I have that major scale very like familiar to my fingers, and that gives me all sorts of useful musical ideas that surround the chord shape. So I would say if you're going to put in the sweat, if you're like, all right, coach, give me something to do where I can like have a montage of like, I put in my like 90 days straight of practicing this for like 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, it would be actually learn the major scale and the 5 positions. So right here, these are the full major scale notes that surround. That's what I did. I'm not saying therefore you have to do that, although, you know, they do say teach what you know. And what I know is that gave me way more confidence, because once I was able to get familiar with where those, just the finger exercise, that's good. We all want things to feel like we're getting better dexterity. And then I can be, when it came time to do arpeggios, it's like, oh yeah, I'm grabbing from my selection of notes I already know, with the idea of lighting up that chord that lives inside of it. And then when someone is, you know, when I need to play a fill that's based off of chords, I can see where I am the whole time, because I've just worked in enough of those sort of pathways in my brain. So there's a lot to be said for getting to the other side with major scale shapes. So you're just like, what is this? It's a little bit like eating vegetables and memorizing your times tables, but isn't it valuable? Like when you're at the gas pump or when you're trying to calculate a tip and you're like, oh God, I don't want to look like an idiot. I'll just move the decimal. You have some recipe of working it out in your head. So there's value. What do you think about that? Do you have any hot takes on major scales, on Cage? Let me know. Let's jam a little bit. I'm checking the comments. Thanks for being here, by the way. And of course, as always, there's always a disclaimer of like, the beauty of it is that no one can teach you anything other than what they know. So I'm going to teach you what I think I remember about how I learned guitar, and I want you to make it your own. That is actually my main message within our membership, is that I roll out these ideas day after day, and I try to get my members excited to like take it and do their own thing. I'm trying to say, here's my little screen here. You can't see it on the vertical, my bad. I got to figure out how to have it over there, but those on the horizontal, this is what we have going on at the moment. The membership right here, put on this groove. So over 123 counting, I think today's the 124th workout, and the workouts are much more compact during the week. We just do like 15, 20 minutes, get in, get out, warm it up, give you an idea to work on, let you play, lots of jam tracks. So tons of momentum gets built. My members love that. Everyone's having a blast, playing more guitar than ever. That's the secret of all the things I'm saying today. Momentum matters the most, so that's awesome. Remember, you get 14 days free. Check it out. Self-paced courses, if you like learning on your own and sort of going through piece by piece, we have these really good things called gauntlets that are kind of fun, like mini songs, really short songs that I've written with jam tracks using all this stuff right here. And it just gives you a way in to like work on a concept, have a real song, and then you have it like actually like coming from a place you can use it. The members area is just really good. We have monthly Dare to Share challenges. This month we just launched our April Dare to Share challenge for prizes. There'll be a random winner from the people that enter, and that's just encouraging you to actually play for other people, record yourself playing. So those are kind of like the 3 core areas of the membership. I hope you check it out. Link in the description. You can try out some of my free resources and courses. There's some great skills challenges in there. That's the spiel on me. If you're wondering who I am, my name's Tim Fagan. You could see, I think in the background right there, and even on the vertical, that's the platinum record I got for working with Colby Calais many years ago. I was on her first album, and I toured with her as her band leader and guitarist and backup singer, which was an amazing experience. We played all the TV shows. We toured opening for John Mayer, and along the way during that time, I wrote a song with her and Jason Mraz called Lucky, which you may know. It became a huge, pop hit, won a Grammy. And so that launched me further into the world of songwriting and producing, but I've always loved guitar as my number one thing. And then just in the last year, I got back into teaching guitar, loving it, enjoying it, and so happy to see people out there kind of, responding to the way that I teach, which is kind of like this, just sort of hanging out with a friend. And consider me just sort of like your older brother, no matter what age you are. I'm just sort of like a few years further into the path of playing guitar, and I can show you some things, I can teach it in my own way. But I'm always going to want to try to bring it back to something fun and some kind of like way of expressing yourself. So if you can express what you hear in your head, that's fun. And then my work is done. If I basically get you like jamming on an idea that you go off and play for hours on your own, that's all I want, is for you to like be in the zone, in the flow state. So that's what we go for. Oh yeah. So I'll show you this like sort of awesome, fun, dumb little commercial that I made for myself. And again, my bad to the people on the vertical. I'll figure it out. I promise. But right now I don't know how to do it. This is a little 30-second commercial explaining who am I,
Wait, who is this dude?
Honolulu back in 1993.
Yeah.
Boy in his bedroom playing Stevie and the Weeds.
Oh yeah.
One day he's gonna move out to LA, gonna tour around the world, getting paid to play. He rode lucky and he won a Grammy. John Mayer shouted him out in a magazine. Still playing that guitar every single day, making records in Nashville with Lolly and Tony. It's nice to meet you. He could be your teacher.
Wait, who is
Oh, okay, let's not loop it. We're good. Okay. We did F. We did G. Someone give me one more key here to rock out on. And we'll just build a little groove and then we'll jam our way out. Thanks again for being here. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. Sometimes I miss some things. That's good to hear, Tony. I hope that the major scale becomes a friend. And honestly, I think I underestimated it until more recently when, I got into the teaching side of things, to be like, you know what? Without knowing it, I'm leaning on my knowledge of the major scale like every single day. Like the ability to pull up which chords go with which and all that kind of stuff. Like it'll be kind of your new operating system where you can just sort of see some possibilities. Whoa, we're going full circle. We're going B flat. You may have missed it at the beginning. We started with a B flat minor, but let's get dicey and go to one of those in between frets. B flat. All right, B flat. Tell me, where would I find B flat on the first string? This is like Price is Right. I'm going to trust you. I'm going to go wherever you tell me. So if you steer us wrong, we're hosed. All right, in the meantime, I'm going to find another one of these percussion loops, and you've got to tell me what famous song this percussion loop comes from. Let me see. Let me find one. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, this one. Okay, here we go. That's too fast. I'll slow it down. Slow it down to the correct tempo. There it is. Now you know it. Close. This kind of could be Sympathy for the Devil. But that is, in fact, Freedom. George Michael. Now, don't watch it on freedom. Don't watch it on freedom. Don't watch it on freedom. Don't you to give what you take. We all know what this one is, right? Da da ba 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 da ba it. Kind of like this, just a random thing here. I'm going to drag that in. I'm going to mix that with another beat here. Just doing some live production, y'all. All right. Let's try that together. All right, let's build it up. All right, all right, all right, all right. We got a lot of song requests in the vertical. In the vertical world, they're like, play this, dance monkey, levitate. I don't know. I'm too old to know any of the bands you listen to. I'm so sorry. But here's a Name That Tune for you. Galen, you're not allowed to answer, okay? Name that tune for anyone out there. Ready, set, go. And this is a triads exercise. Oh, I turned off this, or I just turned it down. Okay, here. try to remember how it goes. The workers are going where? The workers are going home. That's right. My name is what? My name is Whitpell. I got a box full of... Okay, B flat. All right, what fret? 6. My bad. Okay, what fret would I find a B flat? Because we get the 1st and the 6th string there. On the 4th string, what fret would it be? 4th string, we need a B flat. 4th string, we need a B flat. Any other Weezer fans out there? I love it. Yeah, the quicker you answer, the less out-of-tune Weezer you have to hear, which is good. 2nd string, where's the B flat? Give me a 2nd string B flat. 2nd string B flat. I don't even know if I know. See, this is one of those ones where it's like, where would it be? Where would it be? 2nd string B flat, 2nd string B flat. Higher, lower. Where do we go? Is it over here? Is it over here? Where does it go? Oh, no. 1 would be C, because that would be like ba-ba-da-ba. That's like our right there. But I like it. I like the gumption. 11. Yeah, see, this one's tricky because it's sort of like, oh, it's way up here. We want it to be like we could start lower, but sometimes it lands in an awkward spot. Okay. Where would I find it? On the 3rd string? 3rd string, B flat. 3rd string, B flat, B flat. 3rd string, B flat. Come on. Here we go. Oh, yeah, 5th string. Yes, correct. Let's fill that in. Brim Vim. Nicely done. And then all we need now is love in the world. I'll help us. That's that octave trick right there, right? Okay, so that's a lot of B flats. Okay, now give me a shape. Give me one of the cage shapes. Like Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Oh gosh, I wish that was someone who just got out of a time machine. They're like, play the hottest songs of the day. Dumbo the Flying Elephant. I've seen a lot of things. How's it go? When the crows are singing them, it's like, but I never see an elephant fly. That's the B-side version of it. That's the Wish.com version of that song. There's a beautiful ballad, Baby Mine. And there's an album from years ago that Bonnie Raitt sings Baby Mine. In fact, someone in the Guitar Friends community dropped that into the songs we like, if you can find it. Bonnie Raitt singing Baby Mine from a Disney song collection that was on cassette a million years ago. Doggo on the move. Yeah, we got a doggo doing the doggo shapes. Okay, let's find the D shape of B flat. This is what we got to be able to do. And maybe it takes a little bit of doing, but then we'll have it and we'll be so cool. Okay. So up here, that's a B flat right there, right? So let's sort of spell our way back from there. And rather than going up the neck to the C shape, wow, you really threw us a good one here, Galen. Oh boy. So let's spell it out. We got the... This is one of those sort of in-between shapes, which I like. This is sort of getting me sort of dusting off the cobwebs here. Beep, boop, bop, oh. So in order to play proper D shape would be... And this is one of those ones that's good because it has the kind of the pattern per string. Like the 1st and 2nd string are the same, and then the 2nd and the 3rd string are the same. You'll see in terms of their sequencing. I'll try to make this a little more decipherable. So we'll have the white circle around the B flat notes. We'll sort of clear those out just so we don't have any added distraction there. We'll put on this groove. So we're going to find our B flat major. We're going to run it a little bit, and then we're going to build a little riff, and we'll play our way out, and then we'll be free to go about our lives. So right there. Boom. And I guess sort of shows like this is one where I would probably Yeah. Oh, I remember this one now. It's been a minute. Okay. So. So this one's kind of cool because if you notice, each one of those pairs of strings, it continues right on down. At least the way that I'm spelling it out. So we've got like those 6 notes. It's like that same spacing. All right, so let's try playing this together. And I'll just put down, let's say I'll just put down just a B flat. Or nothing, or just that chaos. Whatever you like, whatever you like. I gotta still remember how these crazy buttons work here. There we go. Okay. Let's start from the bottom. Here we go. And then stop at that B flat. Hang out for a minute. And let's walk our way back down. So this one requires quite a bit of stretching. But another way to look at this down here is this looks most like that area where we do the sort of B flat that looks like an E chord. Right? So we probably know that stretch of this B flat major from doing those low rhythmic fills there, right? Let's walk our way up. So you can slide of that stretch. Let's go all the way up now. We're gonna stop at this B flat. So it sounds like B flat, right? Let's continue up from there. 2, 3, 4. And then resolve on that B flat. Again. Right, so we got our B flat kind of underneath our hands there. Oh, that's an undo. Okay, now I want to clear it. All right. Last thing we're going to do is write a little chord progression, and then we're going to freely play over this. Somebody give me a number sequence. Give me 4 numbers here. B flat. How many flats does B flat have in the key? B flat, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then B flat. Okay, which one is the other flat? Obviously we get the B flat, and it happens again, that doesn't count. B and E, correct. So the B flat and the E flat. All right, we're gonna do a 4, 6, 2, 1. So 4, 4, 6, G minor, 2, C minor, then back down to 1. Right, so with what we talked about before, I know it's going to be a major chord, minor chord, and then a major chord. This will be yours too if you spend some time with it, right? So let's get acquainted with this chord progression. We'll sort of build it out, and then we'll sort of jam it. So E flat. Beautiful. E flat. G minor. C minor. I'll do a major 7 there. I don't care. I'm authorized. Cool little chord progression there. Nice work, everybody. Let's add a little bass to it. times. And even the little bass stuff that I'm doing, it's based off of my awareness of B flat major. Do you get the idea yet? I'm into this major scale stuff. It's gonna be my thing, I think. Gonna do big stuff out there in the world, guitar friend, just like you. So now let's just play around here. Play around a bit. Just try this scale. And I give you permission right now to just sort of test it out. Kick the tires. Noodle. The next level, and I won't take us through this all today, but the next level would be now, looking at our specific set of chord changes. Could we spell that out using chord tones in here? So let's say, all right, where are the four? Like, where are the E flats in here? Okay, here's an E flat. Where's another E flat? Oh, here's an E flat. Okay, that's kind of cool. Here's another E flat. So maybe even just trying to map out those, like matching the E flat with E flat when it happens. Okay, cool. Okay, cool, you say. Maybe I could find the two. I'll try that yellow there. Okay, there's the... Wait, not that. Yeah, so that's the 6 there. Okay, I gotta find the 6. Okay. There's a 6. There's a G right there. There's a 6 right there. So I could do the 4. So you really take your time with it and just kind of move with the changes. There's a 6, and then maybe play the 2 to the 1, right? Have fun, guitar friend. I'm just gonna keep on noodling here for a bit. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining me. Experiment as always. It's been a pleasure. Chicka-chow-chow, chicka-chow-chow, chicka-chow-chow. 4, 6, 2. Great work, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And to your last question, it kind of works. I just go by ear, by flavor, meaning I could easily play just regular major, regular minor, and regular major. But to my ear, it sort of felt nice to open with a more major 7, kind of smooth that chord, and I'm playing a major 9 chord. So that's one of those things where you kind of just trust that, okay, we'll do smooth and jazzy. Then I did another one that's, I kind of did all three, the first 3 kind of smooth, and then the last one I just did regular major. The choice is yours, my friends. Have a glorious weekend. Be good to your dogs. Be even better to your cats, because Lord knows they need it. They've been through a lot. They won't notice or care, but you know, it's always worth the effort. Just try to make a good gesture of goodwill and faith. Maybe they won't claw your eyes out in your sleep. That'd be nice.